Hello YouTube and welcome to Crochet with the Mother of Boys. I'm Michelle, the Mother of Boys. So today is part 2 of our classic bomber cardigan. So part 1 we did the band at the very bottom, and then I left you at the repeat of just double crochets row after row after row. If you're making it the same size as mine would be about a large, extra large size. You would want to have a total from starting from row 1 here all the way through. You're going to want to have a total of 47 rows by the time you reach your shoulders at the top. So now we're going to be working on the front panel, obviously the fronts that come down. So obviously you're going to end like normal here. Like I said, this would be row 47 here. So you're just going to chain 3 like you have been and turn. And what we're going to do is we're going to, like I said, this is going to be for the large, extra large size. I'm going to double crochet across 30, and that's going to be your first front panel. Let's try that again. Now the cat's out of the way. Like I said, just double crochet across like you've been doing. And you want to have 30 double crochets across before we turn. We have our 30 stitches across. We're going to chain 3 and turn. And you're just going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch for a total of 30 again across. And I'll meet you at the end here. So we are now at the end of row 2, and we're going to chain 3 and turn. And for row 3, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put 1 double crochet in each double crochet across for a total of 30. So now we're at the end of row 3. We are going to chain 3 again, but this time for row 4 we're going to start our increase. Normally we skip this very first, I guess you can say, whole stitch because our chain 3 is acting as the double crochet for this hole. So we normally go into the one right next to it, but this time I want you to put a double crochet right into that very first hole, and then every hole across, or every stitch across. And we're gonna have a total of 31 double crochets for this row. And here we are at the end of row 4. So you should have a 31 double crochets in row 4. At the end of row 4, we're gonna do like normal, chain 3, turn your work, and we are going to put 1 double crochet across for a total of 31 double crochets for row 5. Okay, so we're at the end of row 5. We're gonna have a total of 31 stitches for row 5, and we're gonna chain 3 and turn. For row 6, we are going to do our increase again. So once again we are going to do a double crochet right into the very first stitch right there, and we will have a total of 32 double crochets by the end of it. So we're at the end of row 6, chain 3 turn your work, and then we will do 1 double crochet across for a total of 32 across for row 7. Okay, so we're at the end of row 7. You should have 32 stitches across. We're going to chain 3, turn, and it's another increase row. So for row 8, we're going to be doing another increase. So into that very first stitch, and again, double crochet across. And in this row, in row 8, you'll have a total of 33 double crochets. Okay, we're at the end of row 8. Chain 3, turn your work. And for row 9, you're going to have a total of 33 double crochets across. Okay, we're at the end of row 9. Chain 3, turn. This is another increase row. So we're going to add that double crochet. We're going to add that double crochet right in the very first stitch. And you're going to double crochet across for a total of 34 double crochets. Okay, so we're at the end of row 10. You should have 34 stitches. Just chain 3, turn, and for row 11, you're going to have 34 double crochets. Okay, here we are at the end of row 11. You should have 34 double crochets. Turn. And for row 12, this is going to be another increase row. So double crochet into that very first stitch, and then double crochet across for a total of 35 double crochets for this row. Here we are at the end of row 12. We should have 35 double crochet, chain 3, turn, and for row 13, you're going to have 35 double crochet across. So we are finishing row 13. Should have 35 double crochets. For row 14, this is our last increase row. So make sure you get your first double crochet into that very first stitch, and then 36 double crochets in this row across. And remember, it's our last increase row. Here we are at the end of row 14. We should have 36 stitches. So now we are going to chain 3, turn, and we are going to work 36 double crochet through each row, row 15 to 43. Okay, so we are at the end of row 43, or now the beginning of row 44. So we did our chain 3, and now we are going to be doing our ribbing again. So this is going to be where we do our front post and our back post, back and forth. So we have our chain 3. We're going to yarn over, and then the first one we're going to do is going to be a back post double crochet. So remember, we're going to go behind that first stitch, pull through, and double crochet, and then your next one is going to be a front post double crochet. So you go in front, and then you do a back post, and a front post, and so on and so on. Back, do back post, and front post, until you get to the end of your row. See at the end of the row. Okay, so we are at the end of row 44, and we finished off with a front post double crochet, and now we're just going to do a regular double crochet into our last stitch there, and then we're going to chain 3, and we're going to turn, and we're going to continue on. We're going to continue on with our front post, back post, so we are going to do a back post double crochet, and then a front post double crochet. Gets much easier. Hopefully I saw that. It gets much easier from here on out to determine if it's front post or back post. But then we do back post, and then we do front post and back post and front post, and so on and so on. So you can see, so this is row 45, so I will see you at the end of row 45. Okay, so we're at the end of row 45, and we're going to do our chain 3 and turn. And so for row 46, we are going to start with a back post double crochet again, and a front post, and then a back post, and a front post, and so on and so on. So keep going until the end of the row, and I will see you at the end of row 46. Okay, so we're at the end of row 46. We're going to chain 3. Oops. We're going to turn. All right, and like the other rows, it's going to be back post, then front post, and so on, back post and front post, and keep working till you get to the end of row 47. We're going to do something a little bit different on the end of this one and for the next row. So we are at the end of row 47. So instead of doing a double crochet into here, we're actually just going to do a single crochet into our last stitch there, and we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn, and we're just going to go ahead and do a single crochet in each stitch across for this row, and this will be our final row on our front panel. And at the end of this row, what you're going to do is slip stitch into the last stitch and bind off. But as you can see, just find your V and do your single crochet in each stitch across. It's not for me to say you love. It's not for me to say. Okay, and then our very last stitch here, we're just gonna pull through, and then you are just gonna bind off, which I don't have my scissors with me right now, so I'll be back. So cut and just bind off. So we're good. So we'll deal with the tails later, weaving. So, but that is the completed first front panel. So you can see here, that's where we joined it. All right, we have our, where we had our increases to create a bit of a V, and then it goes straight for the rest of it, all the way down until we finish off with our ribbing. Okay, so now we obviously have to do our second panel. As you can see, we did it with a V, a little bit of a V-neck there at the beginning. And then we just have it come straight down, all the way down, all the way down. And then we end off in our rib stitch for the very bottom. Yeah, so then all you have to do for side 2 is the exact same thing. The only thing that's different is with side 1, you had finished off from the back panel and you just went across your 30 stitches and then back and forth. Obviously you're going to bind off at the end. So then on this one, just join on the end here and then do your 30 stitches in and go back and forth. That's all you have to do. Otherwise, again, follow the exact same thing as you did for the first side. Do it on the second side. Again, end off with your ribbing, and we're done with the front panels. So that's gonna be all for part 2. And next time I will show you guys how to join the sides and how to do the arms. And if I have enough time in that video, then I will also show you how to finish off the collar around, just do all the finishing touches. We'll see. That might be a part 4, but ideally I'd like to leave it as a part 3. Just finish all up next time because you guys have been waiting so long for part 2 as it is. Thank you for your patience, and until next time, happy crocheting!